Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into the Toll Booth. Covenants have been a huge selling point for Shadowlands. From emo vampire boys to holy looking, definitely not a cult Swolken owners, there's a covenant for you. However, one of the biggest talking points and worries from the player base has been the abilities that go with these covenants. Locking characters into one covenant ability for the next 2 years has sent a wave of panic through many of the non-casual players. We talked about this in my last video, and I suggest clicking on the link in the top right of the video to watch that one first. In this video, we're going to talk about how Blizzard might be able to get away with not having these abilities balanced, an idea that many might not like. But hear me out before telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, and then you can tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. When people think about these covenant abilities, many compare them to the most recent examples we had in BFA, usable Azerite essences. Many of these were extremely powerful and needed to be used on cooldown in order to do the highest DPS. People assumed that these covenant abilities would act similarly, a large damage spell with a moderate cooldown. But what if it didn't work like that? One way to make sure that one covenant ability isn't way overtuned or undertuned would be to scale them down. Way down. Scale them down so that the damage that they do isn't supposed to be 25% or so of total damage, and make it more like 2%. What if these covenant abilities were just another filler spell? What if Blizzard made these abilities just a tiny bit more powerful than each class's filler spell? For example, a Frost Mage's covenant ability could be just a little bit more powerful than Frostbolt, or just a little bit more powerful than a Shaman's Lightning Bolt. Seeing as covenant abilities vary by class and spec anyway, Blizzard could easily find a way that each spec has a covenant ability that is about 5 to 10% more powerful than the filler spell. They could even keep a 1-minute cooldown or make it smaller. In this scenario, for example, in one fight, the Night Fae ability could be 4% of a Fury Warrior's total damage, and the Kyrian ability could be 2% of another Fury Warrior's total damage. Even though the Night Fae's ability did a higher percentage of damage, that is a very small and almost meaningless difference, especially when you consider spell variation coming back. If these abilities stay powerful, like Azerite essences, the Night Fae ability could do 30% of someone's total damage, and the Kyrian ability could only do 20%, and there would be some very unhappy Kyrians. If Blizzard did this, it would still keep the abilities viable and useful for people that care about the meaningful choice, and it would also help alleviate so much pressure on Blizzard to have these perfectly balanced and less possible to exploit. If the covenant abilities become less powerful but still useful, it could be a happy medium for those that want that meaningful choice of which covenant they will pledge to for the whole 2 years, and those that don't want to see a balancing nightmare. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to hit subscribe, click that bell, and stormstrike that like button. I'm also streaming over on Twitch, and the link can be found in the description below, so come on over and hang out. We'll see you next time, champions.